This is the brief on Newsfirst Digital.
A very good evening and welcome to the brief at 7 on Newsfirst Digital. We are coming to you live and direct from Studio 2 here at the Newsfirst complex. I'm Ramesh Irugalbandara.
And I'm Serala Fonseka. We'll start off with a look at your top story. An armed robbery followed by a shootout with police is not something that you usually hear in Sri Lanka. But this incident actually transpired in Madurai today and claimed the life of one police officer.
Several armed gunmen stormed into a jewellery shop in the Madurai town at around 10 AM today. During the heist, the shop owners had managed to send out an alert to the Madurai police, who responded promptly. A shootout took place when police officers confronted the gunmen who were fleeing the scene of the crime. 3 of the gunmen who suffered injuries as they were fleeing the scene were arrested while receiving treatment at the Karapitiya hospital. According to police media spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara, one of the arrested suspects has been identified as Koskoda Taraka, who is linked to a number of murders and heists. The police have also arrested Chamara Indrajit, the man they claim was the mastermind behind the heist. 3 police officers were injured in the incident and admitted to the Madurai hospital for treatment. A police constable passed away while receiving treatment. A civilian bystander was also injured in the shooting. The police also took into custody an automatic rifle and 2 motorbikes used by the suspects.
Deputy Minister of Development Strategies and International Trade, Sujiva Senasinghe, convened a meeting in Colombo today with members of the Export Development Board, exporters, members of the private and public sector. During this meeting, he expressed some views on the importance of increasing exports as well as the performance of the rupee against the dollar. Let's listen to what Deputy Minister Senasinghe had to say.
We have got our national economic policy, trade policy completed by now, and we have got the national export strategy also. We managed to get the NES presented to the cabinet also. Cabinet approval also have been given. So our future exports would be our ministries, all our ministries. The next budget also will focus on our NES. We are working hard, and by, as the chairperson indicated, by 2025 to make our exports almost close to 30 billion. So our future is manufacturing electrical items in the country. Malaysia has done that. Thailand has done that. We have lagged behind for about 20 years. We have not manufactured anything. We have done certain areas. We have done installation wires, certain equipment we have manufactured, but not in mass scale. So we are expecting this manufacturing with the zones being introduced. Japanese, Korean, Chinese companies will manufacture electronic items in Sri Lanka. The dollar sometimes gets strong against the Sri Lankan rupee because we don't have production in the country. We have no manufacturing. People are shouting, people are protesting, people are saying, why is the dollar going up? Dollar is not going up because the dollar likes it. It's going up because we don't have enough manufacturing in the country. And you all have kept the dollar at this rate. At least the exporters have kept the dollar at this rate. If not for you all, the dollar would have hit 200. So if we help these exporters, then the dollar will come down against the Sri Lankan rupee, and dollar, if we get our act together, then we can actually set the dollar at about 135 to 130.
An interesting choice of words by the Deputy Minister. The Deputy Minister also commented on certain media reports about the government's actions.
I know exporters, you come here to complain, but at the same time, you must be aware of the good work done by this government, and you must also take this to the public, because the public is unaware of what you all are going through, and the good work also must be commended. It doesn't happen in this part of the world that much. It's all criticism and the negatives that we see in media also. I don't find even a single news on something good about the country, so which is also not good for the country. We must also show the negatives as well as the positives also. Then only people will also get encouraged, because otherwise the youth will get discouraged seeing all the negatives report on this media. The youth will get discouraged and think that this country can never prosper, but it is not so.
The Deputy Minister claims that there are a lot of negative stories being carried about the actions of the government. The Deputy Minister needs to take a step back and think why such negative stories are being carried. As always, we report, you decide.
The strike launched by postal workers entered its 12th day today, while the fast launched by them entered its 3rd day. Post offices around the country remain closed, while the number of letters at the Central Mail Exchange keep rising. The strike has had an impact at several aspects of the day-to-day life. President of the BASL Attorney at Law, U.R. De Silva, shared these thoughts on how the strike is impacting the judicial sector.
An issue arises when sending notices to respondents through the post. If these notices are issued through the post, there is a register that it was accepted. It is legally accepted as well. We could utilize our officers to temporarily serve these notices. There could be a delay to judicial activities because of this strike, but I believe that the judges and registrars will speak with us and take steps to overcome these delays.
ඉක්මන් පියවරක් අප සමග සාකච්ඡා කරලා පියවරක් ගනී කියලා අපේ බලාපොරොත්තුව.
A national seminar titled Delivering a Safe World to mark the Accreditation Day 2018 was held in Colombo yesterday. The seminar was organized by the Sri Lanka Accreditation Board in collaboration with the United Nations Industrial Development Organization.
Minister Dr. Sarath Amrugama spoke about the recent concerns surrounding canned fish imported to the country.
Now this means that all those commodities, whether they are made here and sent outside or made outside and sent to Sri Lanka, have to be subjected to basic tests. Recently in the ITI we had complaints that there were worms in the canned fish that was imported to this country. Now that is a very, very serious allegation, and I am very glad that our Sri Lanka Standards Institute, which comes under my ministry, was the first to say that this is unacceptable. Now as members of the public, you must ask, how has this gone on for such a long time? Who has been issuing certification for this type of substandard products? What are the various governmental agencies which have signed off on these activities? The public must know that if any of these commodities that go out of this country or come into this country has got that certification, they should be rest assured that this has met those global standards. Otherwise, we are letting down the public of this country. We have problem of certification of tea, certification of rubber, certification of our primary products. Can't sweep this under the carpet.
Sri Lankan Test skipper Dinesh Chandimal, coach Chandika Hathurusinghe and manager Asanka Gurusinghe have accepted and admitted to breaching Article 2.3.1 of the ICC Code of Conduct, a Level 3 offence which relates to conduct that is contrary to the spirit of the game. Following their admission, the ICC appointed Michael Beloff, Queen's Counsel, as the Judicial Commissioner to hear the case to determine the appropriate sanctions. The three were charged by ICC Chief Executive David Richardson on Tuesday for their involvement in Sri Lanka's refusal to take to the field and send Lucia at the start of Saturday's play during the second test against the West Indies. All Level 3 breaches carry an imposition of between 4 and 8 suspension points. Now, interestingly enough, Beloff has also been appointed as the Judicial Commissioner to hear Dinesh Chandimal's appeal against the match referee's decision for changing the condition of the ball as per Article 5.2.3 of the ICC Code of Conduct. The United Nations has said that Venezuelan security forces suspected of killing hundreds of demonstrators and allegedly criminals enjoy immunity from prosecution, indicating that the rule of law is virtually absent in the country. In a report, the UN Human Rights Office called on the government to bring perpetrators to justice, citing what it said were shocking accounts of extrajudicial killings of young men during crime-fighting operations conducted without arrest warrants in poor neighborhoods. The UN Human Rights Office said it was sending its latest report on Venezuela to the International Criminal Court, whose prosecutor opened a preliminary inquiry into alleged violations in February.
Well, that's a wrap or brief at 7. I'm Serala Fonseka for the Newsfirst team.
And I'm Ramesh Irugalbandara. We'll leave you tonight with some footage that has caught the social media attention. An accident that took place in Bambalapitia, a rather bizarre accident that took place in Bambalapitia. As always, don't forget to send in your thoughts and comments on the comment section below. Good night.